Huh? Wait a second. Jimothan, pause that screen right there. What in tarnation? Is that perhaps concrete powdered staircase? No, it's over. It's so over. Remember that vibrant visuals is the thing, and unfortunately, well, remember that vibrant visuals changes the look of a block sometimes maybe more than it should. The concrete, the powder, it does not turn into a staircase. On vibrant visuals, instead, the concrete staircase, well, it just looks like concrete powder. Especially, man, like you take a look at these really dark ones, like the black one, the blue and the purple ones over here, that's quite powdery. Still don't believe me? Fine. No mods are installed. I took them all away. Look at it. Sadly, you read it, you glance and weep. There's no concrete powder stairs. I do feel like we could get terracotta slab staircases and maybe some walls for the concrete too if we make enough noise, though. How you doing, besties? His name is Wattles. Welcome back to another update video. This week, Mojang pumped some colorfulness into the update with concrete slabs and stairs. A day after the initial snapshot dropped, they went ahead and expanded the update on Bedrock Edition. Smash that like button because I have not slept in days. I'm just distracted by these beautiful new maps and I've discovered even more. Let's go for 3,000 likes today and at least one new subscribe. First up, pretty big one here, at least for those of you who use Realms. We have a big expansion of Java Realms coming soon. On top of that, for Bedrock and Java, we have new hosting locations rolling out. Now, this actually popped up in the snapshot. I just completely overlooked it. Added support for Realms to use additional server regions in Canada, Mexico, South Africa, and Arizona, the biggest country of all. Now, it's funny, they kind of wear the super sus if they become available in the future. So they just randomly add the support. Seems like a hint to me. Yeah, so obviously, Realms is expanding, and I'm sure under Ash's new lead over at Xbox, you know, her desire to take this game even further worldwide, I'm sure we could see more Realms locations and expansion and maybe even upgrades of the service over these next couple of months. Who would have thought? The poor sniffer, man, this little forgotten about dinosaur dude. You're still so cool in my heart. I love you. The sniffer in this week's snapshot got a big buff, you see, since an earlier update. Back in the 1.21 era, might have been as far back as 1.21.8, if the buddy was tempted at all with torchflower seeds and then one word to log out of the world, leave it completely, and then swang their way back on over into the world, well, the sniffer would not resume sniffing around. It would just become basically an inactive, strange noised dinosaur. I mean, I don't know. You call me hopeful, man. But I wonder why the sniffer bugged in the first place. Like, you remember back a few weeks ago, earlier in this update cycle, when the maps completely bugged? They got to a point so glitched out and bad where if you were not careful and opened up a map inside of a pre-existing world, tried to update it, well, your world would just get locked. Then, lo and behold, this week, the map update of all time dropped. The bug was definitely one of those bugs that was hinting at changes coming soon. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe I kind of lost you on that one. The sniffer, the bugs popped up a long time ago. I guess I'm just desperate for anything more for the sniffer. Or at least make the flowers do something. It's right there. The torch flower gives off light. The pitcher plant has, like, some water inside of it. Come on, Mojang. Now, the other day, when the snapshot initially dropped, we got this blog article, again, showing off what appeared to be concrete staircases, except powder, and the slab, too. In fact, I've stared at this image so much, I still don't know exactly what's going on with this slab here. I want to say it's a cyan one with weird lighting, but it definitely doesn't fully match the other cyan blocks, so that's weird. But something must have gone down over at Mojang HQ, because if we take a look at this blog article highlighting the new staircases, it talks a tiny bit about the maps. You would think they would highlight that one more. Well, interestingly enough, in this blog article, it says, in case you missed it, 2 weeks ago, we released the first set of features from this drop. That is just, well, that's just straight up not true at all. 2 weeks ago, bro, we were doing something entirely different with technical updates in the snapshots. No, instead, man, if you want to talk about the first features from this update popping into the game, you're going to have to go all the way back to June 23rd. That's like 6 weeks ago. I don't know why this article says these new things are 2 weeks old. But man, I can't help but wonder if possibly something happened in this update cycle and the concrete and map update of all time was meant to come a little bit earlier on. Perhaps this article was sitting waiting in the wings, and now we finally have it. They dropped the article, but forget to update some of the details. Also, to me, it just seems a little bit weird that this drop has already been declared over with so much time left for developing it if we are to release this thing in September. I don't know, I wonder if something somewhere along the line got bugged up, messed up a little bit, and something got delayed, or genuinely maybe time just flies in the minds of whoever wrote this article and they messed up the dates. No matter what, with Mojang being so far off on their time frame, I just can't help but wonder. Next up here, I hope you're not hearing impaired like myself, because you're going to want to listen to these sounds right here. Listen to this. Oh yeah, the shelf mushroom. It's got some brand new sounds inside of the snapshot, or more so, the mushroom is actually using the sounds that it was meant to all along. Yeah, so previously, the shelf mushroom, it had a bunch of new sounds added to the game. It wasn't playing all of them, specifically the placing and the breaking sounds. But now, man, we have to take a look at maps, because by far, maps were the biggest focus of this week's snapshot. No hate to the concrete stairs and slabs, it's just these things are pretty straightforward here. First up, with our map update, I saw a couple of questions about it. The game mode switcher, the adventure mode that used a map icon, yes, they updated that map icon. That's new. But then here, every single map. So initially, when I checked these things out in the snapshot video, I thought I had collected every single one of them, except, you see, that's the catch. Somehow, I accidentally missed quite a few of the new maps. So, right here inside of this chest, you can see every single new map icon that has been added to the game on Minecraft Java Edition. Beginning with this plain old one, that's just a map. Of course, you know how it goes. If I were to take a plain old map and fill it in, I don't get that icon, I just get the map to display. We quite possibly have some changes with the map in the item frame that you guys notice. Hang tight, we'll talk about them in a minute. Next up here, one that looks absolutely beautiful. In fact, maybe the most beautiful out of all of them, the buried treasure map. Look at that thing with the red little X right there. That's beautiful looking. Man, when we don't have that black outline, the maps with the little pictures on them, they look quite nice. And I could imagine using these to like display or mark something inside of my world. Now, these icons, technically not brand new, it's just the map item as a whole. Look at how clean they look. Then we've got our brand new Explorer maps. Now, every single one of these Explorer maps can be given to yourself with the help of a command. However, when you give yourself one of these maps with the help of a command, the map doesn't have any data, so it doesn't actually work. We did initially take a look at a lot of these Explorer maps right here. The maps themselves, once you start using them, for the most part, they are basically the same as they were before. Sliding into a world where we actually have things that could be found. If I had a cartographer villager, went ahead and traded with this guy a couple of times and leveled it up, the maps here, the maps have been updated inside of this villager's trade too. I quite like when it holds a map and shows it right there. Like, dude, look at that. I wish I could freeze you holding up that map like that. Unfortunately here, the Explorer maps that I am getting every single time, they are just the same old Explorer maps that I was getting before. But you've seen my other videos diving into the abandoned campsite. You know how it goes. If you want to find the really good maps of the new structures, it's always going to be inside of the abandoned campsite. For example, the Desert Temple one, this is a brand new map. If I want to be able to find this thing, use a map to find it, then it's off to the abandoned campsite for me. The Ancient City, that means the new meta here. If you want to find your way over to an ancient city, it is going to be getting a little bit lucky at any of these abandoned campsites. This one right here, I know my thing or two about it. You can see right down below it too. There's no buried chest. Aha, but finally, at last, another copper chest and an ancient city map. So it's completely random what structure map you're going to get here. You could get any of them. The biome has no effect at all. But, and this is something we'll get back to a little bit more in a second, but the ancient city has gotten significantly easier to find now because there's actually something that will lead you directly to it for the first time since the Ancient Cities edition. Remember that previously with this structure, it was just trial and error. You had to basically go under the ground and hopefully there was an ancient city under your mountain. Now, while we talk about this map right here, let's take a look at something that was possible to do before. If I had a buried treasure map or an explorer map or whatever, I could actually throw it in a cartography table with a piece of paper and expand the map, just like taking a normal map, putting it in the cartography table and expanding it. You can still expand a normal map exactly how you've been able to do for years. Now, on the other hand, if I put an empty map in here, I could duplicate these maps fine. Sure, that's exactly like normal. When I duplicate the map, it's important to know that the map is cloned. It's literally the same. It won't lead you to a different ancient city. If you wanted to, like you wanted to keep your Explorer map locked, you could still lock these maps as well with a glass pane on the table. Remember that locking the maps makes it so the map will never fill in. So if you want to keep it blank, that's how you do it. So basically, Mojang wanted to give us more Explorer maps, but also did not want us to make it too easy and zoom the map out so you could find a structure quicker. Now look at this here. We've got quite a few maps, but there are, interestingly, some structures missing. For example, the first one that stands out, the Cold Ocean Ruins. That's a structure in the game, but there's no map to it for some reason. Another one that stands out is our other ancient structure, the Trail Ruins. Does Mojang even remember that they added it to the game? Like, look, man, I guess I could get it. Maybe there's an argument for not needing a cold ocean ruin. You could just find the warm one that's basically the same. But they literally completely forgot about the trail ruin structure. The hardest thing to find in the game now. It's so difficult to spot. You kind of just have to get lucky. I think they forgot about it, guys. They don't even remember they had it. Tinting. Inside of the Snapshot, the developers went ahead and removed the map color tinting. I don't know if this affects map brightness or what, but this is one here that you guys pointed out in the initial video, so check this out. If I put a map inside of a frame, whoa, that is nice and bright. If I put a glow frame and then a map inside of it, whoa, at the daytime, there's apparently no difference at all. The map is just perfectly lit now. And if I set things to midnight here, now you will see the difference. The glow frame has a map that remains fully lit. Meanwhile, the other map, it's not fully lit. Instead of setting my time to noon, we'll set it to daytime. And, well, you can see that as long as there is light over here, the map's brightness seems to just work. However, I am so sad. Slide over to Bedrock Edition, look inside of the inventory, look up map, and, well, we still have locator maps and normal maps on Bedrock. Which, that's not what I'm sad about. Like, I love that we could have a map without the annoying cursor icons on it. That's so good for, like, going into item frames or whatever. What I am sad about is banner maps. I swore an update with all about wool cushions and maps now. This was the time to put the banner map into the game, but no, the banner map is not in the game, and on Java Edition, plain old maps without the locator, they do not exist either. On the other hand, on Bedrock Edition, if I got a locator map, the new pointer icon, you know how it goes. If I move off of the map here, well, Mojang went ahead and put the little arrow thing back, so that's cool. But why? We don't have parity with the maps on Java Edition and Bedrock Edition after all of these years? Oh, man, I just don't get it, dude. And now, speaking of other things that I don't quite fully get, the Ancient City. Mojang, they went ahead and added some new maps to the game inside of this update. The mineshaft does get a little bit easier to find, the desert pyramid, and the warm ruin. But with the warm ocean ruin and the desert pyramid being on the surface, it wasn't that hard to find. And mineshafts, they practically generate all over the place. They're pretty common, so it's not that difficult too. However, the Ancient City, this is the big one that for some reason, Mojang wants to go ahead and make easier to find in this update. And on top of that, put the portal on the map. Now why in the heck would Mojang want to say, go ahead and make the Ancient City easier to find? Well, let's think about the Stronghold for a second here. Imagine the Stronghold, you know, very crucial, consequential part of the game. You need to be able to find it. Imagine if the Stronghold just had no way to actually locate it, like no Eye of Ender. You had to just get lucky and go under the ground and, you know, hopefully you were right over the Stronghold. Imagine how annoying that would be, frustrating every single time you wanted to go over to the end to continue playing the game. It'd be almost impossible. Enter our brand new friend, the new locator map for the Ancient City. Look, we talked about it a little bit initially when this was first added, but I've got to reiterate here, this has to be yet another one on that long list of clues that point towards something happening with the Ancient City portal soon. Aside from all of the leaks that we've been seeing for quite some time, and now we have randomly added to the game an easier way to find the Ancient City, why would we need an easier way to find the Ancient City if they're not planning on doing something with this more very soon? After all, I mean, take a look at the trail ruins, the cold ocean ruins, and other structures. They don't have maps like shipwrecks. I mean, the shipwreck is literally about exploration. You would think that if anything has a map, the shipwreck would. Yeah, they could have just skipped the ancient city and kept this thing difficult to find, but no. Instead, for some reason, they want it to be easier to locate this thing. And in my eyes, with the warm ocean ruin, and where do you find the sniffer egg but the warm ocean? I think, in some kind of weird way, I think this map and the warm ocean city ruin map, the sniffer egg, they might all be related. After all, you take a look at this fourth dimension, it looks sure a whole lot like the sniffer, or at least a place where this thing would love to smell. And now we've got bug fixes with the little guy too. Gosh, Mojang, just what are you cooking? What do you think about all this stuff? Do you think this is related to a fourth dimension update, or Mojang just wants the ancient city to be more found? Your takes, thoughts, let me know down below. And thank you all so much for watching today's video. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.